They told you it was noble to keep the peace, that maturity is knowing when to stay silent, that walking away from conflict is strength. But here's the truth nobody wants to admit. Half of what you call peace is just fear in disguise. You're not being wise when you stay quiet. You're not being enlightened when you swallow your anger. You're being trained, domesticated, to put everyone else's comfort above your own truth. That's not inner peace. That's self-abandonment. Take Lucas. Nice guy, never says no, always available. Listens, nods, agrees. People say he's so easy to get along with. What they don't say is that no one respects him. His boss overloads him. His friends use him. His partner resents him. Why? Because deep down, we all sense when someone's silencing themselves to avoid rocking the boat. And we don't admire that. We take advantage of it. If you like videos like this, remember to like and subscribe to the channel. You've done it too, haven't you? Laughed off the insult, let the unfair comment slide, bit your tongue when someone crossed a line, told yourself it's not worth it. But if it keeps happening, maybe it is worth it, because every time you choose silence over truth, something dies inside you. A small death, quiet, invisible, but real. This kind of peace rots you from the inside out. It turns you into a ghost in your own life. Always present, never truly there. You're not in harmony. You're disappearing, and you're calling it growth. So, let me ask you something directly. When did you decide that your comfort matters less than everyone else's? When did your truth become optional? If you don't face this now, 6 months from today you'll still be nodding and smiling, and hating yourself just a little bit more. You weren't born afraid of conflict. You were taught to fear it. From the moment you could speak, they started drilling it in. Don't talk back. Be polite. Don't argue. Just be the bigger person. And like a sponge, you absorbed it. Not because it was true, but because you were too young to question it, too dependent to risk disapproval. That's how the training began. Not to be good, but to be obedient. Nietzsche saw this with brutal clarity. He called it slave morality, a value system created not by the strong, but by the weak. In a world where power ruled, those who had none couldn't fight back, so they rewrote the rules. They turned strength into a sin. They made humility a virtue. They preached that submission was moral and power was evil. Why? Because they were powerless. It wasn't ethics. It was survival dressed up as principle. But here's the twist. This morality didn't die with ancient history. It's alive inside you right now. Every time you avoid speaking your mind to keep the peace. Every time you feel guilty for setting a boundary. Every time you mistake suppression for maturity. That's slave morality whispering in your ear. It tells you that silence is noble, that passivity is love, that invisibility is kindness. But Nietzsche would tell you the truth. It's cowardice. A learned behavior passed down like a family heirloom, disguised as wisdom. You've been conditioned to believe that being good means being harmless. But here's the reality. The world doesn't reward harmless. It ignores it, or worse, it exploits it. So now the question becomes, how much of your goodness is real, and how much is just fear pretending to be virtue? Until you face that question, you'll keep wearing a mask and calling it morality. There's a moment right after someone crosses your line. You feel it in your chest, tight, hot. A truth rises to your throat, sharp and ready. But then you swallow it. You tell yourself, it's not worth it. And maybe it isn't. Once, twice. But silence becomes a habit faster than you think. And what starts as a strategy becomes a reflex. Soon, you're not choosing peace. You're addicted to avoiding discomfort. This is the hidden cost no one talks about. Every time you shut your mouth when you should speak, you abandon yourself. You teach your nervous system that your truth is dangerous, that your boundaries are negotiable, that your needs come last. And the world learns too. They learn you're safe to ignore, safe to unload on, safe to control. This is how self-abandonment becomes your default. Until one day, you're not sure where you went. You say yes when you mean no. You say it's fine when it's killing you. You smile, but your eyes say, get me out of here. And here's the cruel irony. The more you silence yourself, the more resentful you become. You start to stew. You rehearse what you should have said. You explode at the wrong people. Or worse, you implode. Quiet, depressed, numb, a slow death by swallowed words. There's only one way out. Reclaim your voice, one moment at a time. You don't need to scream. You just need to say one honest thing today, one real no, one unfiltered truth. It'll feel terrifying at first, because your fear has been fed for years. But the courage comes after the act, not before. You act first. Then your nervous system catches up. So here's your step. Say one uncomfortable truth this week. Say it calmly. Say it clearly. But say it. Your freedom doesn't start with a war. It starts with a sentence. There's a fire in you. Always has been. It's the force that made you scream as a baby, not whisper. The instinct that made you reach, demand, create, challenge. Nietzsche called it the will to power, not dominance over others, but your inner drive to expand, to assert, to exist fully. But somewhere along the way, that fire got tamed. You were told to tone it down. Don't be too loud. Don't be too intense. Don't be too much. So you turned the flame inward. You suppressed your anger, your needs, your ambitions, until they curdled into something toxic. That fire didn't die. It fermented. And now, it shows up sideways. You snap at the barista for getting your order wrong. You ghost people instead of confronting them. You hate your boss, but stay quiet and binge-watch shows to numb the dread. You keep the peace in public, but your jaw is tight, your fists clench, your stomach churns. That's not peace, that's pressure, and when pressure has nowhere to go, it either explodes or it sickens you. Nietzsche saw this clearly. Repressing your will doesn't make you virtuous, it makes you sick, emotionally, mentally, even physically. You become a shell of yourself, polite on the outside, boiling on the inside, and then one day it erupts, at the wrong time, with the wrong people, in the worst way. Or it never erupts. It just turns into apathy. You stop caring. You numb out. You exist, but you don't live. That's what happens when the will to power is denied. It mutates into quiet self-destruction. So ask yourself, are you really calm, or are you just controlled? And if you are, who taught you that being less of yourself would make you more lovable? Because whoever it was, they lied. You've been carrying it all for years. The expectations, the pressure to please, the weight of being the good one. You keep going, keep bending, keep swallowing what burns, and they applaud you for it. Such a strong person. No, just a heavily burdened one. Nietzsche named this first stage the camel, the one who kneels, who bears, who endures. The camel doesn't question. It survives. It obeys. It walks through the desert believing suffering is sacred. But here's the turning point. One day, the camel has had enough. Enough submission, enough silence, enough being the emotional trash can for everyone else. And in that moment, a roar begins to form. That's when the lion is born. The lion doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't carry. It confronts. Not out of hatred, but out of self-respect. It learns the most powerful word in the human language, no. No, I won't carry your guilt. No, I won't shrink to make you comfortable. No, I won't betray myself to avoid your disapproval. But the lion has an enemy, the dragon of thou shalt. This dragon is ancient, and every scale on its body is a rule you were taught to never break. Thou shalt be agreeable. Thou shalt not cause conflict. Thou shalt suffer in silence. To defeat that dragon, you'll need fire, the fire of truth, of refusal, of reclaiming your voice. And yes, it will cost you. People might pull away. You'll feel guilt, rejection, fear. But that's not a sign you're wrong. It's a sign you're finally breaking the script. The camel was praised. The lion is feared. But fear is often the first step to freedom. And once you learn to say no to what kills your spirit, you make space to say yes to what brings you back to life. You've been told that conflict is dangerous, that it destroys relationships, that it ruins your peace. But here's what no one ever taught you. Conflict is not the enemy. Avoidance is. Every meaningful transformation in your life will demand a fight, not always with others, but with yourself, with your fear of being disliked, with your urge to stay small, with the version of you that learned to survive by disappearing. Nietzsche didn't write about comfort. He wrote about confrontation, because truth is born in the clash between who you are and who the world expects you to be. And unless you face that collision head-on, you'll spend your whole life playing a role, not living a reality. You think you're being kind when you stay silent. But here's the brutal truth. Silence, in the face of injustice, is complicity. When you don't speak up, you're not neutral. You're agreeing. You're teaching others how to treat you. Every unspoken boundary becomes an open door for someone to walk all over you. And the worst part, you start to believe it's normal. You tell yourself, this is just how life is. No, it's just how your life becomes when you refuse to face what needs to be faced. But here's the redemption. Conflict, when done with awareness, is not destruction. It's liberation. It's how you reclaim your place in the world, how you stop begging to be seen and demand to be respected. And don't wait until your silence becomes unbearable, until your body breaks down, until you wake up one day and can't recognize who you've become. Start small. Speak one truth. Hold one boundary. Challenge one lie you've been living. Because real peace isn't the absence of noise. It's the presence of truth, even if that truth shakes the room. So now ask yourself, will you keep playing the ghost in your own life? Or will you finally show up, even if it means lighting a few fires? If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.